Dr. Han Daho stared at the massive glass windows of the Galactic Medical Research Station. The stars sparkled behind the curved walls, but his attention was on the reflection of the alien medical staff watching him. He had expected some curiosity, but not this level of worried looks and whispered conversations. "Dr. Han, please come with me," said a voice behind him. He turned to find someone who looked completely human. She wore the white uniform of the station's medical staff, with 5 golden stripes on her shoulder marking her as the chief medical officer. "I'm Mayuri, the station's head doctor," she said, extending her hand in what seemed like a carefully practiced human greeting. Her movements were too smooth, too perfect, a clear sign she wasn't human despite her appearance. "Nice to meet you," Daho replied, shaking her hand. He noticed how she quickly pulled back, as if touching him was somehow dangerous. In her office, Mayuri brought up several holographic screens filled with human medical data. "Dr. Han, I must be honest. Your species concerns us." She pointed to a chart showing normal human body temperature. When humans get sick, their internal temperature rises to levels that would kill most species. "Why do you cook yourselves?" Daho couldn't help but laugh, which made Mayuri step back slightly. "That's just fever," he explained. "It helps kill harmful bacteria and viruses." "You deliberately heat your bodies to kill invaders." Mayuri's eyes widened. "Most species just try to contain infections in one area until they naturally die out." "That would take too long," Daho said. "Our immune system actively fights back." Mayuri pulled up more data. "Yes, about that. These white blood cells of yours, they actually hunt down and destroy other organisms." She seemed disturbed by the concept. "And these antibodies, they're like tiny weapons your body makes." "That's right," Daho confirmed. "Our immune system learns from each infection and creates specific defenses against it." A loud alarm suddenly rang through the station. Mayuri checked her computer terminal. "We have an emergency in Lab 7. Someone's having a severe allergic reaction." She turned to Daho. "Would you mind coming along? We've never had a human doctor observe our medical procedures." They rushed to the lab, where a blue-skinned alien was having trouble breathing. Daho watched as the medical team tried to help, but something seemed off about their approach. "Why aren't you giving them anti-inflammatory medication?" he asked. Mayuri looked confused. "Anti-inflammatory? You mean you have medicines that fight against your body's own responses?" "Of course. Sometimes our immune system overreacts. We need to calm it down." The alien medical team stopped what they were doing and stared at him. Mayuri's professional composure cracked slightly. "Your immune systems are so aggressive that you need medicine to stop them from killing you." "Well, yes, in cases like allergies or autoimmune diseases." "Autoimmune?" Mayuri interrupted. "Your immune systems sometimes attack your own bodies." She looked horrified. "And your species survived." Daho realized he was seeing human biology through alien eyes for the first time. Everything he took for granted about the human immune system, its aggression, its adaptability, even its flaws, was completely foreign to them. "Dr. Han," Mayuri said slowly, "I think we need to completely reevaluate our understanding of human biology. Would you be willing to help us study your immune system? It's unlike anything we've seen in the galaxy." Looking at the worried faces around him, Daho understood that he wasn't just here as a doctor anymore. He was here to help aliens understand why humans were so different, so aggressive, and maybe so frightening to them. "Of course," he said. "Where do we start?" Mayuri looked at her medical team, then back at Daho. "Perhaps with why you're the only species we've ever met whose body responds to infection by trying to kill everything, including itself." Daho smiled. This was going to be interesting. The medical lab on the Galactic Research Station buzzed with activity as Dr. Kim Ji-ho sat in the examination chair. 20 different alien machines scanned his body, while Dr. Han Daho explained what they were seeing to an increasingly amazed group of alien doctors. So when this human sees a harmful bacteria, Nayuri said slowly, pointing at the screen, these white blood cells actually chase it down and eat it. That's right, Daho replied. Jaiho, could you show them the recording we made yesterday? Jaiho nodded and pressed a button on his tablet. A large hologram appeared, showing a microscopic view of human white blood cells hunting down bacteria. The alien doctors watched in silence as the cells surrounded and destroyed the invaders. One of the alien doctors, a tall creature with silver skin, dropped his medical tablet. It's like watching tiny predators hunt their prey, he whispered. That's exactly what they are, Jaiho said proudly. Our bodies are full of microscopic defenders. Nayuri shook her head in disbelief. But the energy cost must be enormous. How do you have enough energy to do anything else? We eat a lot, Daho explained, and our bodies are very good at using that energy efficiently. The next test made the aliens even more confused. They injected Jaiho with a harmless protein to see how his immune system would react. Within hours, his body had created specific antibodies to fight it. Impossible, Nayuri said, checking the results for the third time. Your body created a specific weapon just for this one protein. In just a few hours. That's normal for us, Jaiho said, rubbing his arm where they had given him the injection. Our immune systems are always learning and adapting. An alarm beeped on one of the monitors. The aliens rushed to check it, and their expressions changed to shock. Your temperature is rising, Nayuri said with concern. We should stop the test. No, that's supposed to happen, Daho quickly explained. It's a mild fever. His body is just working harder than usual to learn about the new protein. It's completely safe. The aliens looked at each other with worried expressions. In their experience, any rise in body temperature was dangerous. The idea of it being normal and helpful was completely foreign to them. Later that day, in the station's medical library, Daho and Jaiho were reviewing the test results when Nayuri came in with more questions. We've been studying your medical history, she said, placing a holographic display on the table. Is it true that humans deliberately inject themselves with weakened diseases to strengthen their immune systems? You mean vaccines? Yes, we've been doing that for hundreds of years, Jaiho answered. Nayuri's eyes widened. You intentionally expose yourselves to diseases to make your immune systems even more aggressive. It works really well, Daho said. It's why we can survive so many different types of infections. But look at these numbers, Nayuri said, pulling up more data. Your immune systems are constantly active, always ready to attack. Most species only activate their defenses when absolutely necessary. How do you not exhaust yourselves? Jaiho laughed. Would you believe we're actually exercising right now? Physical activity makes our immune systems work better. The look of horror on Nayuri's face made both humans laugh harder. She quickly made some notes on her tablet. The Galactic Medical Council needs to know about this, she said seriously. Your species, your immune systems are like nothing we've ever seen. You're not just surviving diseases, you're fighting them head-on and getting stronger from it. Daho nodded. Earth has a lot of dangerous things that can make us sick. We had to evolve strong defenses to survive. Strong. Nayuri shook her head. Dr. Han, your immune systems aren't just strong. They're weapons. Every human is walking around with an army of microscopic soldiers inside them, ready to fight anything they meet. As she left the library, Jaiho turned to Daho with a grin. Should we tell her about allergies next, or should we wait until they're more used to the basic stuff? Let's wait, Daho replied. I don't think they're ready to learn that our immune systems sometimes pick fights with harmless things like pollen. The two humans shared another laugh. While outside, Nayuri was already drafting a report that would change how the galaxy viewed human biology forever. The emergency alarms on the Galactic Medical Research Station wouldn't stop ringing. Dr. Han Daho watched as more and more aliens arrived at the medical bay, all showing the same symptoms: high fever, weakness, and strange purple spots on their skin. Another 10 patients just arrived from level 3, Jaiho reported, running into Nayuri's office where they were having an emergency meeting. Whatever this is, it's spreading fast. Nayuri looked worse than Daiho had ever seen her. Her usually perfect appearance was messy, and dark circles showed under her eyes. 17 different species are now infected, she said, her voice tired. But there's something strange about this outbreak. What do you mean? Daiho asked, looking at the medical charts floating in the air. The humans, Nayuri said, pulling up more data. None of you are getting sick. Not a single human on the station has shown any symptoms. Jaiho and Daiho looked at each other. They had been so busy helping the alien patients that they hadn't noticed this detail. Let me take some blood samples from both of you, Nayuri said, already grabbing her equipment. There must be a reason why humans are immune to this. As she drew their blood, more alarms went off. The station's main computer announced, "Warning, station-wide quarantine protocols now in effect. All personnel must remain in their current locations." Perfect timing, Nayuri muttered, taking the blood samples to a nearby machine. At least now we can study this properly without more cases coming in from other ships. The machine beeped as it analyzed the human blood. All 3 doctors crowded around the screen, but Nayuri gasped when she saw the results. "This is incredible," she said, zooming in on the image. "Your immune systems are already fighting the pathogen. Look, you have antibodies specifically designed to attack it. But we don't feel sick at all," Jaiho said, looking confused. "Exactly." Nayuri's excitement was clear in her voice. "Your immune systems are destroying the pathogen before it can make you sick. It's like you have an army ready to fight an enemy before the enemy even attacks." Daiho looked at the data more closely. "Can we use this? Maybe we could help the other patients with our antibodies." Before Nayuri could answer, a group of alien doctors rushed into the office. One of them, the silver-skinned doctor from their earlier tests, looked panic-stricken. "The patient's on level 2, he said, trying to catch his breath. "Their symptoms are getting worse. A pathogen is evolving, becoming stronger." Nayuri quickly checked the new patient data. Her face grew serious. "He's right. The infection is adapting faster than any normal disease should. This isn't a natural outbreak." "What do you mean?" Jaiho asked. "Someone engineered this pathogen," Nayuri said grimly. "It was designed to affect as many species as possible. But they didn't account for humans." Daiho stood up, his mind racing with possibilities. If this was engineered, that means someone on the station. "We'll deal with that later," Nayuri interrupted. "Right now, we need to focus on saving lives. And it seems like human immune systems might be our best weapon." She turned to face both human doctors. "I know this is asking a lot, but we need your help. Your immune systems are doing something none of us have ever seen before. They're not just fighting this pathogen. They're completely destroying it." Jaiho nodded firmly. "Whatever you need. We can't just watch everyone get sick." "It will be dangerous," Nayuri warned. "We don't fully understand how human antibodies might affect other species, and if the people who created this pathogen realize that humans are immune." "We'll be careful," Daiho assured her, "but Jaiho is right. We have to help." As if to emphasize the urgency, another alarm started blaring. The station's computer announced, "Warning, quarantine breach detected on level 4. Emergency containment protocols engage." Nayuri looked at her human colleagues with determination. "Well, doctors, it seems the galaxy is about to learn exactly what human immune systems are capable of. Let's just hope we're ready for the consequences." The quarantined medical lab was silent except for the soft hum of machines. Dr. Han Daiho stared at the blood samples in front of him, while Nayuri paced back and forth behind him. They both knew what they were about to do broke every rule in the station's medical handbook. "If anyone finds out we're doing this without council approval," Nayuri said nervously, "we could both lose our medical licenses." "People are dying. Daeho replied simply. We don't have time to wait for paperwork. The door slid open, and Lee Sunmai, a human nurse, walked in carrying more blood samples. Her face was tired but determined. The new cases from level 5 are worse than the others, she reported. The pathogen is still evolving. Nayuri checked the security cameras outside the lab before locking the door. Okay, let's do this quickly. Sunmai, are you sure about volunteering? Sunmi nodded. I've seen what this disease does. If my immune system can help create a cure, I'm ready. Daeho prepared the injection. They had isolated the antibodies from his and Jeho's blood, but they needed to know if other humans would produce the same response. Sunlight would be their first test subject. This might make you feel sick, he warned as he gave her the injection. We're giving you a controlled dose of the pathogen. They all watched the monitors carefully. Within minutes, Sunmi's immune system began responding, but something was different this time. Look at these readings, Nayuri said excitedly. Her immune response is even stronger than yours was. The antibodies are adapting, evolving to fight the evolved pathogen. That's impossible, said a voice from the door. They all turned to see the silver-skinned doctor standing there. None of them had heard him enter. Dr. Yuri, he said formally, this is a serious breach of protocol. I should report this immediately. Wait, Sunmai said, standing up despite feeling slightly feverish. Look at my blood work. The human immune system isn't just fighting the pathogen. It's learning from it. Each time it evolves, we get stronger. The silver doctor moved to the screens, his scientific curiosity overtaking his duty to report them. This makes no sense. How can biological systems adapt so quickly? Because that's what human immune systems do, Daeho explained. We evolved on a planet full of constantly changing diseases. Our bodies had to learn to adapt just as fast as the things trying to kill us. Nayuri pulled up more data. If we can understand how human immune systems do this, we might be able to help other species do the same thing. The silver doctor was quiet for a long moment. Finally, he said, what do you need from me? Really? Nayuri asked, surprised. I've lost 3 patients today, he said quietly. If there's even a chance this could work, I want to help. Over the next few hours, they worked frantically. Sunmi's blood showed exactly what they had hoped. Her immune system was creating a new type of antibody that could fight even the evolved form of the pathogen. It's ready, Daeho finally said, holding up a vial of processed human antibodies. But we have no idea how other species will react to this. I volunteer, the silver doctor said immediately. Use it on me first. They all stared at him. Are you sure? Nayuri asked. This goes against everything we know about cross-species treatment. Sometimes, he said, rolling up his sleeve, breaking the rules is the only way to make new discoveries. As Daeho prepared the injection, more alarms sounded throughout the station. The computer announced, warning. Multiple critical patients reported in all sectors. Medical emergency declared. Nayuri looked at her colleagues. Well, she said with a nervous smile, I guess we're about to find out if human immune systems are as remarkable as we think they are. The silver doctor didn't flinch as the needle went in. They all watched the monitors, hoping they had just made a breakthrough, and not a terrible mistake. The future of the station's patients now depended on whether human immunity could be shared with other species, and somewhere on the station, whoever had engineered this disaster was watching too. Everyone in the lab held their breath as they watched the silver doctor's vital signs on the monitor. After receiving the human antibody treatment, he lay still on the medical bed, his silvery skin having turned a darker shade of gray. His temperature is rising, Nayuri said, checking the readings. Dr. Han Daeho moved closer to the screens, while Lee Sunmai prepared emergency medicines just in case things went wrong. Wait, Daeho said suddenly. Look at his infection levels. The numbers on the screen were dropping rapidly. The silver doctor opened his eyes and sat up slowly. I feel strange, he said, but the pain is gone. Nayuri rushed to take new blood samples. When she put them under the scanner, she gasped. The pathogen. It's being destroyed. The human antibodies are actually working. Just then, Park Min-ho, another human doctor who had been treating patients on the lower levels, burst into the lab. "We have a problem," he said, trying to catch his breath. "The Galactic Medical Council is sending investigators. Someone told them about our unauthorized experiments." "How long do we have?" Nayuri asked, already moving to hide their research data. "An hour, maybe less." The Silver Doctor stood up from the bed. Despite still looking a bit shaky, his voice was firm. "We need to treat as many patients as we can before they arrive. The council might shut us down, but they can't argue with results." They worked quickly, preparing more doses of the human antibody treatment. Sun Mai and Minho helped move critical patients into the lab, while Daho and Nayuri administered the treatment. "The council won't like this," Minho said, as he helped another patient onto a bed. "They think human biology is too unpredictable, too dangerous." "They might be right," Nayuri replied, checking a patient's vital signs. "Look at how these antibodies work. They're not just fighting the pathogen, they're teaching the patient's bodies to fight back. We're basically giving other species a tiny piece of human immune system." Patient after patient showed improvement. Some recovered within hours. The Silver Doctor helped document everything, recording each successful treatment with careful detail. "Even if they shut us down," he said, "they can't deny the evidence. This is revolutionary." Suddenly, all the screens in the lab lit up with an incoming message from the station's security team. They had found something. The pathogen was released from Lab 12. The security chief reported. "We found traces of genetic engineering equipment. Someone was testing how different species would react to the same disease." "Testing?" Daho asked, feeling angry. "They were using the whole station as a test lab." "Yes," the security chief continued. "But according to the data we found, something went wrong. They didn't expect human immune systems to be so effective. The pathogen was supposed to affect all species equally." Nayuri looked at her human colleagues with new understanding. "They didn't know," she said quietly. "Nobody in the galaxy really understood how powerful human immune systems are. Not until now." The lab door opened again. This time, it was a group of official-looking aliens in formal uniforms. The council investigators had arrived early. But before they could say anything, the Silver Doctor stepped forward. "I'm patient 0 of the human antibody treatment," he announced. "And I can prove it works. Look around you. Every patient in this room was critical just hours ago." The lead investigator looked at the patients, then at the research data running on the screens. Finally, he turned to Nayuri. "The council will need to review everything," he said, "but continue treating the critical patients for now." As the investigators began their work, Daho, Sun Mai, and Minho shared a quiet look of triumph. They had done it. Human immune systems, once seen as dangerously aggressive, had just saved countless lives. "You know what this means," Nayuri said to them softly. "Everything we thought we knew about galactic medicine is about to change." The Silver Doctor nodded. "And it all started because we finally asked the right question. What the hell is wrong with human immune systems?" "Nothing," Daho replied with a smile. "They're exactly what the galaxy needs." Dr. Han Daho and his team had just finished celebrating their success when the station's alarms started blaring again. This time, they were louder and more urgent than before. "Emergency alert. New infection strain detected. All medical personnel report to emergency stations immediately." Nayuri's face went pale as she looked at the incoming patient data. "This can't be right," she whispered. "The pathogen. It's changed completely." The Silver Doctor rushed to her screen. "How is this possible? The genetic structure is nothing like before." "Someone's still working on it," Park Minho said, his voice angry. "They saw that we found a cure, so they made it stronger. Lee Sunmai burst into the lab, looking exhausted. 3 patients just died in Section 4, she reported. The new strain is killing people in hours, not days. The medical team quickly gathered around the main research table. The holographic displays showed the new pathogen structure spinning slowly in the air above them. Even the human antibody treatment isn't working anymore, Nayuri said, running more tests. It's like the pathogen was specifically designed to resist it. Then we need to make a stronger treatment, Daho said firmly. He turned to his fellow humans. We need more blood samples. From all of us. The Silver Doctor shook his head. It's too dangerous. The council investigators are watching everything we do now. If something goes wrong, people are dying. Minho interrupted. We don't have time to worry about the council. They worked frantically, taking blood samples from all the humans on the station. Each person's immune system had responded slightly differently to the pathogen, creating unique antibodies. Look at this, Nayuri said suddenly, pointing to her screen. Each human immune system attacked the pathogen in a different way. If we combine all these responses, we could create a treatment that attacks the pathogen from multiple angles. Daho finished her thought. Something it can't adapt to easily. As they worked, more emergency calls came in from all over the station. The new strain was spreading faster than before. Even species that had been resistant to the first outbreak were getting sick. Whoever engineered this, Sunmai said as she processed blood samples, they're trying to prove something. They want to show that they can beat even human immune systems. They're wrong, Minho said confidently. They don't understand what makes human immunity special. Nayuri looked up from her work. What do you mean? It's not just that our immune systems are aggressive, Minho explained. It's that they never stop learning. Every time they face a new threat, they get stronger. The Silver Doctor suddenly straightened up. That's it, he exclaimed. We're not just using human antibodies. We're using the human immune system's ability to learn and adapt. They worked through the night, combining different human immune responses into a single treatment. The council investigators watched their every move, but didn't interfere. Even they could see this was their only hope. Finally, at the darkest hour of the station's night cycle, they were ready to test the new treatment. The first patient was barely alive, their vital signs critically low. Now we find out if human immune systems are really as adaptable as we think, Nayuri said as she administered the treatment. Everyone watched the monitors. For several long minutes, nothing seemed to happen. Then, slowly, the patient's vital signs began to improve. It's working, Sunmai said softly. The combined antibodies are destroying the new strain. But their celebration was cut short by another emergency alert. The station's security had found something in the abandoned Lab 12. Dr. Nayuri, the security chief's voice came over the comm system. We found plans in the lab. This wasn't just an experiment. Someone's planning to release this pathogen on every major space station in the galaxy. The room fell silent. They had won this battle, but the war was just beginning. And somewhere out there, someone was watching, learning, and planning their next move. Well, Daho said, looking at his tired team, I guess the galaxy is about to learn even more about human immune systems. The Silver Doctor nodded. And this time, he added, we'll be ready for them. The main conference room of the Galactic Medical Research Station was packed. Dr. Han Daho stood at the front, showing holographic images of human immune cells fighting the deadly pathogen. Behind him, Choi Dayan, a human immunologist who had just arrived from Earth, prepared to share their latest discovery. As you can see, Daho explained to the room full of alien doctors and council members, human immune systems don't just fight infections, they remember them. Nayuri stepped forward, but that's not all we found. Dr. Choi, please show them what you discovered. Dayan touched her tablet, and new images appeared in the air. They showed human DNA sequences next to ancient viral fragments. This is why human immune systems are so strong, Dayan said, her voice clear and confident. Earth's history is full of deadly diseases. Our DNA still carries pieces of ancient viruses that tried to kill us. Each time we survived, we got stronger. The Silver Doctor raised his hand. Are you saying that human immune systems are the result of surviving multiple extinction-level events? Yes, Dayan replied. Our planet tried to kill us thousands of times. Viruses, bacteria, parasites. Everything made us adapt or die. And we chose to adapt. The council members whispered among themselves. One of them, a tall blue alien, stood up. This explains why the engineered pathogen failed. It was created by people who never faced such aggressive evolution. Exactly, Park Min-ho added from his seat. Whoever made this pathogen didn't understand what they were dealing with. They thought human immune systems were primitive because they're aggressive. But that aggression comes from millions of years of fighting to survive. Lee Sun-me pulled up more data on the main screen. Look at these readings from our latest tests. Human immune systems are still evolving, still getting stronger. Even now, they're learning from every new threat they face. The room erupted in discussion. Some council members looked worried, others fascinated. Nayuri called for quiet. We need to understand something important, she said. Human immune systems aren't just different. They're the result of surviving the most dangerous planet we've ever studied. Choi Da-in nodded. Earth's gravity is stronger than most inhabited worlds. Its oxygen levels are higher. Its wildlife is more dangerous. Everything about Earth forced humans to become stronger, including our immune systems. But that's not the most interesting part, Daho added. Show them the compatibility tests, Dain. New images appeared, showing how human antibodies had helped other species fight the pathogen. Human immune systems can teach other species how to fight better, Dayan explained. We're not just resistant to diseases. We can help others become resistant too. The council members looked shocked. One of them stood up quickly. Are you suggesting we use human immune systems as a template for improving other species? That's exactly what saved this station, the Silver Doctor replied. Human antibodies didn't just cure the infection. They showed our bodies how to fight back. Nayuri stepped forward again. We've been asking the wrong question all along. We kept wondering what was wrong with human immune systems. But now we know the truth. They're exactly what they need to be. The real question is, how can they help us? Suddenly, an alert flashed on all screens. Security had found more information about the pathogen's creators. This isn't over, the security chief's voice announced. We've detected similar labs on 3 other stations. Someone is still trying to prove they can beat human immunity. Daeho looked at his colleagues. They were tired, but he could see the determination in their eyes. What had started as a medical mystery had become something much bigger. Let them try, he said confidently. Every time they make a stronger disease, human immune systems will learn from it and become even stronger. That's what we do. That's how we survived Earth. The room fell silent as everyone realized the truth. Humans weren't just another species with unusual biology. They were survivors, shaped by one of the most dangerous planets in the galaxy. And now, their unique immunity might be the galaxy's best defense against whatever was coming next. Well, Nayuri said with a small smile, I guess we finally answered our question about human immune systems. Yes, Dayan replied. There's nothing wrong with them at all. They're perfect, forged by survival itself. 6 months after the pathogen incident, the Galactic Medical Research Station looked very different. The main medical bay had been transformed into the first human immunology institute, where doctors from across the galaxy came to study human immune systems. Dr. Han Daho walked through the busy halls, nodding to alien doctors who now treated him with respect instead of fear. He entered the main research lab where Nayuri and the Silver Doctor were teaching a group of alien medical students. And as you can see, Nayuri was saying, pointing to a holographic display, human immune cells don't just attack threats, they remember them and get stronger. That's why we're here today, the Silver Doctor added. to learn how we can use this knowledge to help all species. Daeho smiled as he remembered how differently things had been just months ago. Back then, aliens had thought human immune systems were primitive and dangerous. Now they saw them as the key to revolutionary medical treatments. Lee Sun-mai rushed into the lab, holding a tablet with exciting news. "The council just approved our new vaccine program," she announced. "We can start helping other species develop stronger immune systems using human antibodies as a template." The students in the lab cheered. Even those who had once feared human biology now understood its value. Park Min-ho and Choi Dudin joined them, carrying new research data. "You won't believe what we just discovered," Daein said excitedly. "Human immune systems are still evolving. They're getting even stronger as we face new challenges. And the best part," Min-ho added, "is that we can share these improvements with other species. The treatments we develop aren't just curing diseases, they're helping others develop better immune responses." Yuri pulled up more data on the main screen. "Look at these results from the latest trials. Species that received human antibody treatments are now showing improved resistance to all kinds of infections, not just the original pathogen. It's like we're teaching their bodies how to fight better," the Silver Doctor explained to his students. "Human immune systems aren't just weapons, they're teachers." Suddenly, all screens in the lab lit up with an incoming message. It was from the Galactic Security Council. "We found them," the security chief announced. "All labs developing illegal pathogens have been shut down. The people responsible are in custody." A cheer went up through the lab. The threat that had started everything was finally over. "They never understood what they were fighting against," Daeho said quietly. "They thought they could create something stronger than human immunity. But they didn't realize that every attack just makes us stronger. And now," Yuri added, "that strength helps protect everyone." The lab doors opened again as more alien doctors arrived for training. Among them were species that had once refused to even be in the same room as humans, fearing their aggressive biology. "It's amazing how things have changed," Sun-mai said, watching them enter. 6 months ago, they thought something was wrong with our immune systems." "Nothing's wrong with them," the Silver Doctor replied with a smile. "They're exactly what this galaxy needed. We just didn't know it until now." Daeho looked around the lab at humans and aliens working together, sharing knowledge that would save countless lives. What had started as fear and confusion about human biology had led to the biggest breakthrough in galactic medicine. "You know what the best part is?" Daein asked, reviewing the latest research results. "We're just getting started. There's so much more to learn about human immunity." As if to prove her point, new data appeared on her screen, showing yet another unique aspect of human immune response they hadn't noticed before. "Well," Yuri said, looking at her human colleagues with respect and friendship, "I guess we finally answered the question about what's wrong with human immune systems." "Yes," Daeho replied, watching aliens and humans working together to build a healthier galaxy. "Nothing's wrong with them at all. They're exactly what evolution intended them to be: survivors, protectors, and now, teachers for the whole galaxy." The story that had begun with fear and confusion had ended with understanding and hope. Human immune systems, once seen as dangerously aggressive, had become the galaxy's greatest medical breakthrough. And this was just the beginning.